Hi everyone, it's Joe from Cyclist magazine here. The postman's just been and he's just delivered a very special package indeed, the contents of which I thought I should probably share with you. Why did I think that? Well, because in that package were these. Cop a load of those bad boys, everyone. That's right, these are the Adidas road cycling shoes and they've just landed here at Cyclist magazine. Now these were released at the back end of 2020 and were quite comfortably some of the most hotly anticipated pieces of cycling kit to be released in an awful long time. Why was that? Well, as a brand, Adidas has a rich, deep history in the sport of cycling and was long the riding clogger choice for the likes of Rudi Altig, Ullrich and the great Eddy Merckx throughout their long and illustrious careers. However, for the past 15 years, Adidas has been a notable absentee from the world of cycling shoes. That's right, Adidas had not released a new set of cycling shoes in a decade and a half, until now. In what I'm calling the biggest comeback since Take That returned in 2006 with Patience, Adidas is back in its rightful place of the cycling shoe market with the road cycling shoes, very originally named, just in case you got confused and thought they were football boots. They're not. Now, classic in design, thoroughly modern in performance, or at least that's how Adidas is selling it to us. We thought we would give you a closer look at some of the finer details. Let's start with the tops. Best place to start, eh? Look at that. Okay, very soft, very malleable. Why is that? Because Adidas has used its prime green jacquard woven recycled material, something it's used previously on its running shoes and football boots. Adidas says that it gives you a sock-like fit that, due to a lack of seams on the top, will have an even distribution of pressure on the top of the foot when the laces are done up accordingly. Now that doesn't give you much support as a rider, as you can imagine, so to counteract that, there's a little bit of synthetic material on the toe there, and then also on the heel cup you've got the same bit of material, as well as a bit of leather, just giving you that bit of added support when you're riding. Laces, you'd have noticed them when I give you a little close-up. Now, laces aren't the most efficient way of doing up your cycling shoes, but if you're making a classic set of cycling shoes like Adidas have done here, they're the only thing that are going to cut the mustard. No boa dials or Velcro to be seen. Let's swap them over. Let's have a look at the bottoms. So, 3-bolt cleat attachments, of course, so you can use your Look pedals or your Shimano pedals, the most popular systems out there. Bit of rubber on the toe, same thing on the heel, that prevents you falling on your backside at the cafe, something that I'm pretty sure all of us have done at least once in our life. And then also with the soles, finally, and probably the biggest point, is they're not made of carbon. Now, most cycling shoes do have carbon soles these days. These instead have a set of nylon glass composite mix soles, which Adidas still says give you optimal power transfer. And if I subject them to the very scientific Cyclist shoe test, you'll see there's not much flex. Not enough flex to trouble us amateurs about losing watts anyway. Let's talk about weight. So a set of 44s are what I got delivered, because that's the size shoe I wear. But unfortunately I don't have a set of scales at home, and my more scientific scales are under lock and key in our London office. So I'm reliably informed that a set of 42s come in at 568 grams without cleats, which, when all things are considered, are a pretty standard weight for a set of cycling shoes, especially when you consider their cost. A set of these shoes will come in at £130 at the moment, which is still quite expensive, but almost 3 times as cheap as some alternatives from Specialized, Northwave and Physique. Sure, those alternatives will have all the bells and whistles, such as a full carbon sole and boa dials, but considering these are cheaper than some brands' entry-level shoes these days, I'd consider that to be quite a bargain, especially when you consider how good they look. I would go as far as saying these are some of the best looking cycling shoes we have seen in an awful long time. In fact, I haven't seen a set of cycling shoes that I'm so attracted to as much as these as I had the Giro Empires, the iconic lace-up shoes as worn by Bradley Wiggins back in the day. These aren't perfect, however. There is a few things that I would have changed had I been on the design committee at Adidas during the development of these. Those include thinner, longer leather stripes, maybe an old Adidas trefoil logo on the heel, And then I'd have also put a little portrait of Eddy Merckx on the tongue, just to hark back to those Eddy Merckx shoes of the 70s and 80s. But you know what, beggars can't be choosers, and we've just got to be happy that Adidas is back in the cycling shoe game. We should also be pretty excited by the fact that I'm informed reliably by a source that Adidas will be expanding further into road cycling during 2021. Maybe with more shoes, but even some kit as well. The details of which I'm yet to be told, but keep an eye out for that. I'm going to give a full test of these for cyclist.co.uk. However, as you can probably tell, they aren't the best for winter. It's 2 degrees outside at the moment, so these aren't going to be seeing the light of day for a good few months yet. Instead, I will be using them on the turbo trainer behind me, and then when it gets a little bit warmer, they will get a little run out. So do check back later in the year for a full review of these shoes, because I will commit to that. But in the meantime, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to Cyclist YouTube channel as well. Follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and do check out cyclist.co.uk for some of the best news, reviews and in-depth information about the cycling world on the internet.